Hello and welcome. My name is Tom.
And I'm Heather.
And you're sitting at the Couples Table.
The Couples Table is a live stream podcast here on this channel. Join us for better or worse.
For richer or poorer.
In sickness and in health.
Every Friday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I was trying to think of something semi-clever. And
we should change our intro.
You said it like a year ago.
I know.
Alrighty.
Hey everyone, hello, checking in.
I guess I should check our audio, huh?
We played with the audio because I was re-listening to the Couples Table at the gym, and it sounded really low. You know, I was like turning it up, and then I reached max volume, and I was like, oh, I feel like it needs to be a little louder.
I think it's good now.
Yeah?
It's hard to tell when I'm like listening on a quiet phone out of reach, but we'll good.
Tweak it as we go. All right. Parker Jennings in the house. Hello. Homesick Mac.
Hey.
Nice to see you.
Oh, Mac, I got your email for the podcast. I just haven't responded to you yet, but thank you. It will be in the next episode.
Freddie always is in the house. Hello. Bailey. Hello. Good to see you. Dave Den. My first time here. Going to mostly be listening in the background while I work. Well, nice. It's very good to see you.
What up?
Dave Den is part of the YouTube Huddle Up, which I do over on my other channel at youtube.com/Heather Ramirez, where we do the YouTube Huddle Up, and it's a lot of fun, and you could join us. So does Tech Troublemaker and Call Me Cubby. They are also on
the whole cohort is here.
The cohort. All the YouTube Huddle Up crew is here. Richard is in the house. Hey, folks.
Pete's
and Pete.
There.
Hey, Tom and Heather.
Hello,
it's Friday.
It is.
I don't know why. I'm just realizing that. I took a nap again, so I don't know. Fridays like at 11:30. I'm like, all right,
clocking out, punching out. There.
It's time to take a nap. More like partners in crime.
I haven't gotten to watch the Huddle Up because I'm busy, so I don't know what y'all doing over there. But all right.
Well, you're gonna join us after next week, right?
Yeah, that's also not true because I did rewatch some of yesterday's, but Wednesdays. See, yeah, Friday.
It's fun. We have a good time. It's a good group. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Don't go, Ben.
He's in the hall. He got hot. He had to go lay on the hard floor.
That's the thing. He gets hot, so he goes to the hardwood floor. That's the only reason why he leaves. But all right, what's up, Tom?
Couple things.
We have a lot to talk about.
Do we? We do, actually. We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm going to start off.
You have things.
I have things.
Here. There are things on the desk.
I wanted to give a little bit of a shout out to something that's really cool, and I don't know what we did before that made me think of this. But for a long time, I've been using, to tie up my cables, I've been using these little like cable whips, these things here.
Cable whippies.
Whips. And normally I've been using these Think Tank ones that are red, but they like stopped making them years ago. So I bought a bunch and they're like slowly running out. And so somebody reached out to me. Chris from Metcalf Noodles reached out to me and was like, hey, you want to try some of these out? And so he sent me a bunch of stuff here. Look how colorful these are. And there's a whole bunch of them. They're just cable whips. This isn't like a sponsor thing. I just think it's cool because he was basically like, this is a side business he started during the pandemic. It's just like one guy does everything on his own. I bought cheaper versions of these since my favorite Think Tank ones aren't around anymore, and they're horrible. And so I was like, sure, I'll try them out. And he was like, I think you'll like them because they come in all these crazy colors and stuff, which I do like. And so he sent them to me. I've been using them on all my cables and stuff lately. He sent me like a huge collection of them, and I just thought that was really cool. Like, they're really useful. I really like the colors. I've been needing good replacements because every time one of mine gets used or broken or lost,
you used my color to hold them all together.
There's some really good purples in there.
This is a great, fantastic. Hold on.
This is like a perfect.
This is
purple.
It's a perfect purple. It's hard to find the perfect purple, but this is it. It's a good one.
There we go.
Look, I don't know if it's look like right here. Yeah, look at that.
Fully going through on the camera, but in person it's a very nice, rich, beautiful, vibrant purple. So yeah, Metcalf Noodles. There's kind of the logo, but Metcalf is spelled METCALF.
That's tiny.
It's just one dude in Southern California who does everything himself, and that's awesome. He's been doing it for a few years now, and I just wanted to give a shout out because I thought that was cool and it solved the problem for me, and I'm really excited about it.
There you go.
So there we go.
Perfect. And while you were talking about that, the Riopel Room has tuned in, and so has Art.
What up?
What up?
Oh, he said what
up. Call Me Cubby says, Tom, I liked your video on the Fine mic since I'm a newbie. I like the look of that one.
Yeah, it's a really cool mic. I like the lights on it. It was, how much was that microphone? I think it was like $35. It was no. That one was a USB XLR combo. It's like $50, but it's a good sounding mic.
Great.
Yeah. The only downside is if you touch it, it like picks up all of the noise.
I mean, I rarely touch.
Yeah. So it's
Once
just
you set it up.
part of those things is like sometimes it's a problem with the product, but sometimes it's like you just have to learn how to use the tool that you're using, and that's the case there. And the mic I'm using today, I thought he'd be here. I was waiting for Audio Hotline to pop in, but he was doing a stream last week where he was using the RE20 and talking about it. And I haven't used mine in a long time, and that's what made me want to use it today.
Great.
So there we go.
Perfect.
I think those are all my updates.
I thought you had like so many. There's a lot of stuff over there.
Most of these are just the cables for the couples table, the table cables.
All right. Well, do you want to move on to?
Yeah, I do.
All right. We've been talking about it for a couple weeks now, but today we really wanted to just kind of highlight the schedule, and that is NAB show 2024, starting from April 14th to the 17th. I guess it's technically the 13th is the 17th. Oh, the exhibit hall is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Here, let me make this a little bit bigger because...
Yeah, so we've talked about this before. If you've never been to NAB, it's the National Association of Broadcasters, but it's huge in Las Vegas, at the Las Vegas Convention Center. I've never gone, we've never gone, but it's always been on my bucket list since way pre-YouTube. Like, I've always wanted to go. And this year seems particularly interesting because not only is it back in full swing, after the pandemic and everything, but this year they seem to be folding in like online content creation more than normal, because typically it's like broadcast industry stuff. So it's not like a YouTube convention or an online creator convention. It's broadcast industry, which I'm always just fascinated by, and I kind of want to go check it out. So it's not really like a VidCon or anything, but it's 2024. It's kind of hard to not acknowledge that, online content creation is sort of a big part of this stuff now.
Best AI tools for creators.
They have whole sessions on the creator economy, and like Casey Neistat's a featured speaker on Wednesday. So they're really like embracing that part of things, which I think is super duper exciting.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so we got, there's all kinds of stuff. Like you can do classes and things if you want to, but if you just kind of want to go for the basic thing, that would be the exhibition hall where it's all the booths. I think it's like, I don't know, the full Las Vegas Convention Center, which is very big. So it might be something you need more than one day to get all the way through. And that's pretty cool. And NAB, I had a like help desk question for NAB, and so I reached out to them. We started talking, and then they gave Heather and I our own promo codes.
What?
We make no money off of these. It's not an ad or anything,
but it's a way for you to get to the exhibit hall for free.
Yes,
which is awesome.
So if you go to nabshow.com, NAB show, you can nab your tickets, and you click on register. You can sign up as an attendee. Actually, can we go back to the thing so I can show everyone where it is? Yeah, you can click on register right here. And then you can do attendee, and then you fill out all your info. And the most basic pass is just the exhibition hall pass, which I think is like $160, $170. But if you use promo code Heather24, it'll be free, $0, free 99.
There you go.
And you can get into the exhibition hall. And then if you wanted to add stuff, if there were some classes or some trainings or some talks that you wanted to attend, you could add those if you wanted. But if you just want to get in for free to the basics, that's all you need to do. Just promo code Heather24, and you get
24. Look at
free. That. And like I said, this isn't an ad. We don't get like a kickback on any of that. It's just a cool thing. They were just like, hey, you guys talk about NAB. Do you want a way to like help your audience get there?
Make the post for the YouTube Huddle Up people.
Yeah. So those promo codes just were supposed to become active yesterday. So they should be working. Everything should be good. Yes. That should be a ton of fun.
And we are going to be there all Monday and Tuesday. I think we should try to plan like a time to meet up at the exhibit hall. Like, let's meet up at a booth at a certain time and take a group photo. Yeah. So we'll talk about that as the day gets
logistics.
Closer. Yeah.
Herding cats.
But yeah, it should be fun. So let us know if you're going to go. Richard is going to be there. Awesome. Dave says, I heard NAB is where DaVinci Resolve talks about their latest tech features.
A lot of companies release new things at NAB because it's why not, you know? Like everybody's, it's sort of the place where all media and press outlets are like looking for the new things that come out, and it's like, why not make that the time where you announce stuff? So lots of cool audio video related products are released and announced at NAB, and I know of a couple of them in advance that are gonna be pretty freaking cool.
I know. Tech Troublemaker, I still wish I could be at NAB, but Deja has me traveling. So excited. All the creators who are going.
Yeah, it should be fun.
MCJ, are you going to be there? Because that would be awesome.
How do you feel about it? Because originally, like, it's something I've wanted to do forever, but it's always been like, yeah, you know, I taught broadcast. I worked at a TV station. It sort of seemed like it was in my wheelhouse. And now, all these years later, how are you feeling?
I'm excited because I feel like we haven't gone to, like, an event like this since VidCon 2019.
Yeah,
So
totally different world.
Yeah, and then that VidCon was my third one, and it was so different from the first one I went to. So like, I'm excited to just. I feel like things like this are always so exciting, and it's just fun to connect with people in real life, and especially with this one in particular, it really sounds like a lot of the brands and companies that, you know, we use their tools and in our creative process are going to have their booths there with all their newest and latest and all that. I think that's going to be really, I don't know, cool to check out. So I'm very, very, very excited.
Yeah.
Plus it's in Vegas, so
Get a phone call.
Even though I was there.
You were there just last weekend. That's why we didn't do the couples table.
I know, but it'll be fun. Okay, Introvert Amateur is here. Amateur. Hello, everyone. Just finished recording my next video for the Huddle Up goal. Woot! Question to Tom.
Ooh.
Was there an update regarding your damaged Sony 24mm 1.4 GM? Don't know if I missed it on your podcast.
There's not. So what Introvert Amateur is talking about there is my main camera lens, since I switched to Sony, has been the 24mm f1.4 G Master, which is like a $1,300 to $1,500 lens. Kind of fluctuates in price. I bought it when I got my A7S III 3 years ago now. So now you're like, okay, lens is 3 years old. If it has an issue, maybe that's not a problem. It's the only G Master lens that I've ever owned. But
G Master?
I know that's what they call their high-end lenses. It's not my favorite name of a lens.
That's funny.
But everybody else I know who's owned a G Master lens, other than the 70 to 200, but like the 16 to 35, or the 24 to 35, has had some kind of issue with them. And mine has been in my studio 98% of the last 3 years. Like it's not beat up. It's not a travel lens. It's my bread and butter lens. Like the image quality is amazing. The autofocus is amazing. You can do focus breathing compensation. So it's a perfect lens. Except that it just sort of maybe like 8 months ago, the focus just sometimes stops working, and like it completely stops working. It won't autofocus on anything. I can't switch manual or autofocus. I can't even manually focus it because it's focused by wire, and it just sort of dies, and then it will like start up again. And so I reached out to Sony. They offered to check it out and inspect it. And when it got shipped back to them, they just kept saying, oh no, it's working perfectly. Like we've tested all these bodies. I did all kinds of testing between different bodies, different lenses. It definitely narrowed it down to just that lens. So they shipped it back, and then it was working for me. And honestly, I thought that it just got knocked around during shipping and like that put something loose, and now it was working again. And so a few months went by. I had the problem a couple times, but it usually resolved a little bit. And then a while ago, it happened again, and it wouldn't resolve, so I had to send it in again. And the same thing happened where they did all kinds of tests, couldn't find anything wrong, sent it back. And now I'm at the point where it's like I'm actually really frustrated. I appreciate them taking it and checking it in, but truthfully, I feel like Sony did a lot of work to not replace a camera lens. And when I did a review on the lens after a couple months after having it, I talked about how good it was, but I was really nervous about the build quality because it feels very plasticky and cheap. And I was like, I don't know, I hope it lasts, but it's a G Master lens. It should work great. Now I don't know. Like, truthfully, I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend any of them because they're too expensive. The only thing is, especially the autofocus when it does work and the focus breathing compensation are really important. And they don't work. You can't get that with non-Sony lenses. You can get good autofocus, but not focus breathing compensation on Sony cameras without using a Sony lens. And so it's kind of a bummer. And a lot of people I know who've had the 16 to 35 have had issues with it. A lot of it is focus issues. And for me, I was just sort of frustrated because I was like, okay, well, at this point, like, if I was already sort of, I definitely, like, it makes me lose faith, I guess, a little bit in the camera system. And it's like, I have no interest in getting new cameras because Sony cameras serve all my needs. But in a couple of years, if I need a new camera, there's not much that's keeping me from, like, exploring other brands. Like, they're not building up any customer loyalty, I guess, is the point there. So I recommend that lens for the quality of it because the image quality is so good. But I don't recommend it for the reliability because, like I said, mine has been in my studio for 3 years.
He takes the best care of his stuff. Yeah.
It's just
you don't
most
even
of the time
go
it's on a
outside.
tripod.
Yeah.
It's been outside a few times, but I usually don't travel with it because it's the one I use for everything, and so I don't want anything to happen to it. I'd rather use like one of my other, maybe lower quality lenses when I'm out and about because it just feels safer. Which is crazy because those lenses are all fine, and this one is the one that now has issues, and I don't know. It's frustrating. So yeah.
Poor customer service experience with.
It was crazy to me because at this point they really did a lot of testing and kept me updated with it. So the support from the team of people who test it, they were really good and really detailed. And they're like, if it happens again, like film everything, document everything, send it to us, and I appreciate that. But at this point, it's been so long. Now I can't rely on it. So it's like I'm not taking that lens to NAB, for example, because I can't have it just stop focusing in the middle of a day. And that sucks because there's reasons I would want to use that lens, but it's a lens I can't rely on anymore. And that's my only experience with Sony's most expensive lenses is like, oh, it's expensive and unreliable. And shipping it back and forth, weeks of back and forth, it just feels like had they just said, oh man, sorry about your lens, we'll replace it, or, we'll just repair the autofocus motors or whatever, like it would have endeared me to them so hard. Like, oh, Sony took care of me. But now it's like, I've spent so much money on your cameras and stuff. And it's like, now I'm dubious of the quality and the service. So what's my incentive to like stay a customer or continue recommending them? Not a lot. Yeah.
Oh, I'm still using Canon.
I mean, my Sony cameras have all been fantastic, and the quality is great. Like, I love my cameras.
I do have. There's a part of me that's like, I think it might be time to try 4K. I don't know. I'm so sus about changing everything because everything looks so good. Look, doesn't this all look good? Right?
It does.
Right?
And the thing is, I've always preferred Canon's lenses, but I really like the features of Sony's cameras, and you can merge them a little bit, but it's not a smooth merging. So it's like, yeah.
DJ Ware in the house, another YouTube huddle upper. It's so great to see everyone here. Awesome. Simply Obs is here. Hi. That sucks to hear. It's a lot of wasted time and money. Come to the Nikon camp like me. Now they also have cinema cameras like Red cameras.
Nikon did let me borrow the Z9 last year. That was a really fun camera. Yeah, I mean, Nikons are great. I had no issue with it. My Sony cameras have all been fantastic. Like, they've been super reliable.
Art just got his pass. Nice.
Oh, with our thing.
Yeah,
great.
That's
like,
awesome.
Cool. It works.
Yay. Yeah, so we'll let you guys know. It'll be Monday or Tuesday. I would say Tuesday we meet up.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll let you know.
Yeah, I'm not committing to. I don't know enough, so I'm not committing to anything at this point because I don't know enough.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll plan it. You should probably bring it to NAB, and if it fails, hand it over to the Sony reps there, or do an Indiana Jones on their stand with their lens.
Well, it's just like, and this isn't even like, I wasn't like flexing a YouTube muscle of like, well, I have a channel and now I'm not going to recommend it. It wasn't. Of course, it was nothing along those lines. I'm just going through normal customer service things, and it's like, I don't know. It's just you're spending a lot of time, money, and energy. You're paying all these employees. It would have been so much quicker to just like replace the lens. Give me a refurbished one. Like, I don't care, but it's just so weird.
I get it. Love Canon lenses, prefer Sony cameras and menus. You could adapt EF lenses to E-mount for studio stuff.
You can. I have a video about that actually, but the autofocus ain't the business.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's like, if it is broke, don't fix it is also their slogan.
Well, what else is up? I made a short this week.
You did, yeah.
I did.
Really
and
quickly,
you know what?
too.
Shout out to the YouTube freaking Huddle Up for, like, honestly, that's the reason why I did it. I would have just kept pushing it off, like, forever. And it was fun. I'm gonna admit, it was fun.
I had to leave to go play hockey at, I think it was like 12:10. I left. The Huddle Up is at 1. I played hockey from 1 to 2, and in the car on the way home, I was listening to the replay of it, and you were like, "Oh yeah, my short that I made," and I was like, "Short," and I was trying to figure. I was like, I left at 12:10. You were still getting ready. I know you come in here 10 minutes ish before the show starts, so it's like
I started recording 12:30,
yeah,
and I finished editing 12:50.
That's crazy.
Which, like, that's not knowing how to use this program. Like, that's never making a short before. Yeah, so it's interesting because I can see how people can turn these out very quickly. I mean, of course, you could do 4-second shorts, it doesn't have to be anything. But for me, though, it was nice to kind of, as soon as I did one, I was like, oh, okay, I can see how I can fold this in. And the different perspectives I would be able to share through shorts. Because sometimes it's like, okay, like even we do this. Do we live stream this? Do we make a video of this? I mean, not so much for you anymore because it's just like, live streaming is kind of like the bonus. But I don't know, 2 years ago, it was like, this could go either way.
Right.
Sometimes you do want the live input. Sometimes you just want to do it pre-recorded, edited. And so even with shorts, it's like, is it a short? Is it a pre-record? Is it normal? Like, I don't know. But now I feel like having done one, I can, at least for my content and what I make, I can see where it would fit in. Right. And I really needed to do that. So yeah, YouTube Huddle Up. Thank you, guys.
There's been so many people who've sent you messages where they're like,
yeah, I know, it's so great. Yeah. It's such a good group.
I think I actually wanted to tell you this last night because you were like,
I just love, it's just such a good, I don't know, it's like such a special thing.
We were talking about like why share something, because it always comes down to like, why do you even have
let's
to make
get
something?
into it. Look at on my notebook, I have a why do I create?
Okay.
This was going to be a video of mine.
Well, so something that's innately special to you, what you're talking about, is your ability. Heather has this thing where like when she shows up places, stuff that wouldn't happen otherwise tends to happen. Like people gravitate towards her.
Sus.
Well, people gravitate towards you. People open up to you. You sort of like, I mean, you took a Japanese class last fall, and it's like everybody's literally like planning out of town trips to go to like LA or whatever. They're doing end of the semester buffets, all these things, and it's like I don't think you even realize it all the way because this stuff just happens everywhere you go. But people in the class are like, no, this is unusual. We don't do this in our other classes. We don't do this in this class normally. I've seen you play a pickup hockey game with like, kind of like older, more veteran players who are a little more like not jaded, but a little different. And suddenly they're like almost giggling and acting like kids playing hockey again. And you're just doing your thing. You're not like trying to, I'm just doing my thing. You sort of have this thing that just follows you around and that you bring to whatever you do. And the Huddle Up has been really cool to see get going again because you've gotten a number of messages from people saying that they've been wanting to get started. They've been trying, but this is the one thing that finally kicked them into gear. Like now and I was thinking yesterday, like, I'm sure all of those people, or most of them at least, have watched other YouTube coaches' videos. They've listened to podcasts. They've probably read stuff on, like, I'm sure they've gone through all of the getting started, creator-focused things, and it didn't quite click until this, and then it clicked and made them take the leap, which is really, really special because you could easily say that the stuff, like, there's no secret recipe. It's like, yeah, start making stuff, experiment, keep trying. Right. Like, anyone can say those things, but there's something really special about this specific, I don't know, thing that you create that that benefits others in a cool way.
That's so nice. Look at you.
No, look at you.
It's, I don't know. It's fun. And I'm if you haven't tuned into the YouTube Huddle Up, we're having a great time over there every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's just a fun. I mean, I'm lucky because it's not me. It's, like I could do it all day, whatever. But if no one's there, it doesn't matter. But it's just a good, like, positive group, and I'm sure you could say like I set the I'm sure like, oh, someone can try to do the same thing and it would be different, whatever, but like I know it's just fun. But I hope that you can join us
Oh yeah. In what capacity?
as a on the board,
As a huddle upper?
Yes, get on there, man.
I was thinking of
think it would
joining
be
it for my second
cool.
channel, maybe, but or even my main
Like
channel. I don't
to
know.
me, I think what would be cool is that it's not about. It's not it shows you have 50,000 subscribers. I don't know where you're at.
141.
Okay, 140,000 subscribers. I think what it would show is that there's no finish line. Like
Right.
you're always trying to challenge yourself or try something new, or you always care about it. So it's like even when you are, past the silver play
Signing
button,
my 6-figure brand deals. Yeah, my studio actually has been recreated in our giant estate compound that we moved into. You think it's the same studio, but it's not. I'm kidding.
But I think like what I think would also be cool is that it shows everyone that you, even at your level, you're doing the same thing that everyone is doing.
Yes, that's true.
That's why it's like I think it's a cool thing because it's not when I reach this level it will all feel easy. No, it's still hard. Like it's still still always a challenge.
Yes.
Yeah. So I hope you can join us.
Conscious effort. That'd be a fun thing to do.
You can do it on your
if you'll have me.
Are you kidding? Will we have him? Will you join us? No, it'll be super fun. Okay, Obs is here. I actually filmed a video this morning. First time I have not been live on my channel. Oh, that's great.
That's pretty crazy.
8 pen questions. I need to watch it. Introvert Amateur, totally agree. Joined the first Huddle Up a few years ago and rejoined the current one. And thanks to Heather and the Huddle Up, I was able to cross 1K subs and get
awesome.
monetized.
That's a big milestone. Those are both big milestones.
I feel like Introvert Amateur's channel is like hitting a real good momentum right now.
It's hitting that like boiling point.
Yeah.
Where it all starts going.
Andre, this is turning into a delayed Huddle Up after party.
That's fine.
Okay.
48 hours
for 2
later.
weeks now, Andre has been the kid as I'm like packing up my stuff to leave the classroom.
Forgot to give us homework.
He busts in at the door last second, throws the homework onto the desk, and gets the sticker.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, it's the best. DJ Ware, went through some of the courses. Some of it helped. Some of it just confuses me. It was big ups to you both. I'm thankful for my time with y'all. Aw.
Oh, that's really nice.
Hi, my name is Tom. I'm a new creator trying to get my hockey channel to take off. Peter Gregg, hey, do you own a hockey team now too?
Sort of. We're actually starting a new one for the summer season.
Yes.
Which is pretty cool.
Call me. We need some 2024 YouTube Huddle Up hats. It's a great group to be a part of. Thank you for leading it, Heather. Oh, that'd be great. We should.
Huddle up.
I gotta get some merch going. YouTube Huddle Up, something like that.
Huddle heads.
No. I have not heard that one yet. People have said like huddlers, huddle uppers.
Yeah, the huddle puddle.
I don't know. None of them were clicking for me.
Huddies.
No. Actually, no.
She didn't hate that one as much as the others.
Anyway, so how do you feel about shorts? Are you ever gonna?
I make shorts sometimes. I just don't. I mean, my last one was semi-recent. I don't remember. Oh, I've been putting shorts on my second channel, I guess. I just do them sometimes when I kind of feel like it, but there's zero strategy.
I have the data, but I'm gonna wait till YouTube Huddle Up to share it.
Okay.
Because I posted on both Instagram and YouTube, and
it was very different.
We'll see.
Yeah.
In like for the rest of the week. Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I do with my shorts is I don't post them to my subscription feed. Gosh, I'm like yawning right now. I can't like where it is. I can't not do it. It was like closing my eyes. It was weird.
It's Friday afternoon.
I don't post it to the subscription feed, so it's purely like algorithmic, which is super weird because the thing that's happened for me with them, most of them, is they just sit at 0 for like a couple of hours, and then eventually, usually within a day, they shoot up to about 3,200, and then nothing, and then maybe like 6 months later, they pick up and go. Like I have a couple that have actually gone on to things, but that's kind of been my experience. I don't know even how to look into like conversion rate and whatever.
I don't think it matters. It's just I think what it is like. I think why I'm excited to talk about it is you're witnessing me change my mind on something.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, I don't want to be. We talked about this in the last episode. I don't want to be the person who's like, oh, that the whippersnappers, like back in my day, we didn't have that, or here's this new thing, I'm not going to do it, or whatever. And I'm glad that I'm forcing myself to try this new format.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the negative feelings that I had before. I don't watch a lot of short form stuff myself. Typically,
I still have the aversion of like when I accidentally tap the tab. I'm
oh my god, get out of there fast enough. But that's also in a weird way to me that
I go into my history and I remove all of them from
me too. In a weird way, that's not even me disliking shorts. That's me disliking the interface, where I just feel like now I'm thrown into like the middle of the open ocean and I have no.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
It's not my YouTube experience where I can like look at something, read comments on something, like be kind of a little more intentional with it. It's just a barrage of stuff. But that's not the content, the shorts problem. That's me not liking how they're serving it up, which is just trying to do what other platforms are doing.
Homesick Mac is saying Andre has got that stage presence when filming his videos, well-weighted sarcasm and self-distance. Really enjoying his content. Huddle. Andre says my new goal for next Wednesday is showing up on his stuff.
You get a sticker.
Well, it's crazy because then I was like, oh, is it the time change? Because the whole world doesn't change time when we do.
Right, but our time changed even if someone else didn't, but ours changed.
So the whole world has to know that, oh, America changed their time today.
Yeah, now they're over on this time over here.
So weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
I remember it happened when Peter and I were doing our podcast.
Oh, really?
Remotely, because it was like...
Was it easier?
I don't remember, but I just remember like we had our routine because it would usually be early in the morning for me, and then it was like even earlier. Yeah.
DJ Ware, when you have topics you really want to cover, but you know they will not be popular with your channel, is it better to hold off or put them on a new channel? This is the question for the ages, I feel like. And I think everyone thinks about this.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know if you had a thought. I didn't want to interrupt.
I'm looking at you because you have a very loyal, large following on a main channel and then a second channel.
Yeah.
And then a podcast and the couples table and, all these other outlets.
Yeah. I guess there's two ways that I think about that. One is, which we've talked about before, like, is it a different audience? Like if it's a total, like my main channel, if I wanted to put a hockey video on there, it there's just no overlap. So that obviously goes on the second channel or something. But then there's videos that will be less popular. Like I have a couple of videos that are like audio basics and Final Cut basics. So things like what is compression, how to set up Final Cut Pro, basics of Final Cut titles and things, which are all videos that I want to be on the channel. But I know that they're like they're
not going to be bangers in terms of performance.
They're going to be the ones that just hang out and are helpful for a long time. But they're going to be 10 out of 10s when I release them for like that week or whatever. And that's fine, but it's like you kind of have to know that, I guess, and prepare yourself for that. And then I always kind of look around, which I'm always a little torn. If I have a video that does really well, then I think like, okay, cool, the channel's doing well. I can afford one that's going to like tank things a little bit. But then it's like, well, if I've got momentum, I would rather publish another video that could keep the momentum going. And then when you're like, well, if I have a video that doesn't do as well, then after that, there's no momentum to keep going. And it's like, well, is that going to hurt? I guess there's never really a good time, but just kind of knowing, I guess if the video is just not a popular video because like it's bad and no one wants to watch it, is different from it's not for the broadest audience. And so like I said, like a video about audio compression, I know most of the people who don't want to watch my channel aren't going to be interested in that. But a decent chunk of them will be. And it's one of those things that's going to like keep popping up. It answers the questions people would have when they hit a certain point in their like audio production journey. And then if they find that video, it will be helpful to them. And then maybe they look at this channel that it's on and realize like, oh, there's all this other stuff that's like interesting or helpful too. And so those videos can end up being incredibly valuable over time, even though they look like failures at the beginning. Failures in terms of analytics.
Yeah, performance.
Yeah.
But
it's hard though. It's hard when you're like, I love this video. I want people to see this video, but I know YouTube's gonna just not like this video.
It's hard though, because it's also like, it depends, you know, because it's like, what would be a topic that wouldn't be popular with your channel that you also feel compelled to make content about? You know what I mean?
I think it's when things get more niche is what I've experienced. It's like, you know, not everyone wants to dive into the weeds that hard.
Okay, so that's for yours. I feel like the problem that I'm seeing is, or that I see more often is, my channel's about this, but I want to make something about something totally random or something. And then now it's like, do you just start a second channel?
That's where I would think about like, start a second channel if you have like 50 ideas related to that one, you know, like not just one video, but you're like, oh, there's a bunch here. Otherwise, you could always have like, my second channel is just a hodgepodge, and but I know that means the channel's not going to grow. I know that it's not for that, but I don't care because that's not what it's for. That's for me to put my like, here's a hockey video, here's a I forget what other videos I've done lately. Bass related stuff, home projects, like whatever, you know, like, and that's fun for me to just make and share that stuff regardless of how it does. Otherwise, you can find ways to try, and sometimes it's a fun creative challenge to figure out how you can make the unrelated idea related.
Yeah. That's
so like
fun.
Hockey is a good example. It's not related to my channel, but something I love. But I've been filming short form content like the mic'd up videos. And now that I've done a decent chunk of those, I think it would be fun to do a how to do this, because it's relevant. Like lots of people need to film sports stuff. So how do you mic up an athlete in a way that's not obtrusive to them, not damaging to your gear? How do you film them? How do you edit this? How do you get the audio and the video to sound and look good? Now it's suddenly related, so I can make a hockey video, but it's really an audio video production related video.
Yeah. I like that.
There's sometimes things like that will happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Anything else going on in your world?
Well, there's let's see here. Andre said, appreciate that, Homesick Mac. Lovely of you to say. I did actually not publish on Wednesday. I rendered out the video, watched it, re-edited from 17 to 8. Dang.
Oy.
And then published yesterday. Awesome. Good job. And DJ Ware said thank you. That's some crazy revision to go from 17 to 8 minutes. You just like 17 to 16 and a half or something.
Yeah, sometimes you need a second look, right?
Yeah, well, and sometimes it's almost like dominoes. Like you find one little thing you can cut out, and suddenly because that has been cut out, now all this other stuff can get cut out too. And it's like, you know, I don't know. I mean, videos should be as long as they need to be, but short and concise is always good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else on your list over there, huh?
Oh, why do I create?
Yeah, why do you create?
That's supposed to be a video, so I don't know if I don't put it here.
But you know what's fun about the podcast? Sometimes you can hash out things, and then when you go to make a video, it's like,
all right, we're just gonna.
It's a little. We don't have to, but it's.
No, I don't mind. Well, I wanted to make a video where I talk about why I create content, I guess. And I think when we ask people about content creation, it's like, oh, what do you create content about?
Right.
So you say something like audio, video, or whatever. But for me, I think it's like, it's not even so much what I'm talking about, but why I'm choosing to create content, like to create videos specifically. That's what I was focusing on. So I wrote down 4 things so far. First one is to express myself creatively. That one's kind of obvious. The second one, I wrote gratitude, because I feel like for the content that I make, I feel like for a lot of people, I'm sharing the thing that makes me happy or excited. Like I'm going out of my way to talk about or highlight this thing because I want to talk about it with other people, and YouTube allows me to connect with other people.
Mm-hmm.
And so it allows me to also see, like, when I film vlogs, I'm just like, look at the ants crawling across the sidewalk, or look at the palm trees against the mountains. Like, you only see that in the desert. So it's like, I know this is all here, but I think I'm more present and more grateful as I'm recording, because I'm thinking about like someone else is going to watch this and I want them to see what I see, or I want them to feel what I feel or see it from my perspective. The other thing I put was I like being a coach and cheerleader, because a lot of my content is like focusing on empowering or information or being helpful or, butt kicking or whatever. Like I've always liked doing that, and I always want my content to do that.
You're a good butt kicker.
And then the last one is to share my gift, which is like I don't even know what that is, but it's like, I guess it's creating content that only I can. And I don't know what that means, but it kind of feels like, well, if I'm my unique person, right? Like if I'm this unique person and I do have the ability to share the gifts that I have, then shouldn't I, right? Like, shouldn't I share what I have with others if I could? I guess there's a sense of like responsibility, a duty,
Right.
Yeah. Because I guess it comes down to like, especially as like a 38-year-old, and I get that there's a lot of people who are older than me, but it's like I'm getting to a point where it's like, okay, it's definitely not about growth or accolades or whatever, but it's like, if you look at all the things that you can do in your life, why would you go out of your way to go make something? Like, why put in the effort?
Right.
Why? Like, who cares? You could just sit on the couch and do nothing. But for some reason, I choose to like formulate something, create something that didn't exist, and then share it with others. And I think it comes down to like, I like that I can share a piece of me and it can make a positive impact on somebody else.
Yeah.
And if I could do that all the time, why wouldn't I?
Right.
I don't know. So that's where I was going with
That's
that.
a cool thing to explore, because the why is always tough, because it's like, well, why do that? You could just not, and there's no point. But I feel like you could distill that for anything in life.
Well, I think that the interesting part that I'm seeing right now is like, I really see creating content as an art, but I think because it's so associated with glamour and fame and fortune and like, like, okay, I'm on VidCon's like newsletter. Sure. Every single featured creator they show is young, has colored hair, and I know I do too, but like it's a very like, you kind of look like a YouTube creator. And I know there's obviously diversity, but I think if you showed the pictures to like a kid, they'd be like, yeah, that's a YouTube creator.
It's almost like if, what is it? Like Law and Order had an episode about like a YouTuber.
Yeah. What
would they cast the person to look like?
Exactly.
That would appeal to like the widest possible audience of like, this is one of those influencers
or whatever. Yeah. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's like someone could also, go to the woods, like go to a house in the woods and write poetry, but no one says anything about that being like weird. Right. But then if you want to make content, it's like, it's almost like, oh, so you want all these people to follow you or whatever. Like,
those are definitely feelings that.
But to me, it's the same. It's like you're expressing yourself creatively. It's just a different medium, and it just so happens that we do have distribution attached to our medium. Whereas, like, if you make a painting, no one can see it unless you post it. Or
it's much harder to get eyeballs on.
Yeah, how are people going to see your painting? Like,
that
was definitely you have to go take it somewhere.
Something I had to get over in starting my channel was the feeling of like another person essentially saying, like, what oh, like, why do you think people want to listen to you? Like, what makes
Right.
you someone that
Yeah.
people should listen to? And it's like,
And it's like, I think of all these, I met a lot of older people when I moved here, because the demographic is a lot older here. There's a lot of people who retire here and stuff. And a lot of them are so creative and artistic, and they're doing like they've definitely smashed the barrier to me of like, oh, when you're this age, you just stop being creative.
Right.
You can still like do these incredible things that I feel like I would never have imagined for that age. And I also want it to be I also want digital media to be accessible, you know, like it shouldn't be like, oh, that tech stuff or anything, you know, or I don't know. I just know how much it has empowered me.
Yeah.
You know, like I always feel really like, I can't believe I made that. You know, there's so many times where I look at my old videos, I'm like, look at her go. That's me. Like, what? And I just like that sense of fulfillment, and I don't know, just seeing what you're capable of. I feel like if someone can explore that, like you've tried all the other hobbies and it hasn't clicked for you, but you haven't tried this, like what if this could be the thing that unlocks a thing inside of you that you didn't know you had, you know? I don't know. These are just the things I
think those are all cool thoughts.
I think about. I don't know if it makes sense.
I mean, I think it's very, very interesting. Wait, what? Why won't my username, Max username, my comment tag like Max did with my name? Oh, if you want to tag people in comments, you should do @ and then their channel name, which is sometimes a little tricky.
Which doesn't work on mobile.
And also doesn't work on mobile.
Yeah,
so.
you have to do it on desktop.
It was the B-roll. Way too much long B-roll segments. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like anything. It's like drone footage. You know, everyone just had drone footage for a while, and then eventually it toned down to like, instead of this whole drone montage, maybe you only need 3 seconds of a drone shot to actually serve a purpose and like show something and explain something. And now it's good. You know, like a good B-roll shot can be really helpful, but you know, multiple random 40-second montages in an 8-minute video is like, it becomes a little much after hundreds of times.
Well, so I shared why I create. Why do you create, Tom? Why does everyone create here? Let's open it up.
I mean, there is the personal growth side of it, which is,
and I guess why is different from what.
Yeah.
Why do you create?
I mean, a big thing for me too is because I just really like cameras and microphones and like audio video production. I like using those things. I like making things, and I grew up in a time where I would constantly make stuff, but it almost felt silly because nothing could happen with it. And it was like, even into adulthood, it's like, I have a camera on a slider, I can get a really cool shot of this thing, and then I can look at it and be like, isn't that a cool shot of this thing? And now it's like, oh, you can actually share that and people can see it. And then on top of that, you can give it a purpose and it can be beneficial in some way. And you can... What happened there? What's that now?
Are we on?
Something. I think we're on. So that was
what
weird.
Was that?
I don't know. Something just flippity-floppitied out here.
Was that the prompter? The prompter
we just updated the prompter software and
the prompter did a thing.
Flippity-flopped real quick here. But yes, I mean, that's... I don't know. The personal growth side was such an unexpected...
What do you mean?
Side effect. Like being more comfortable with myself, my ability to share things, to communicate effectively, to feel like I have something of value to offer. Those are all things that I did not... when I started my channel, I didn't want to be on camera. Like I was supposed to be behind the camera making things about other people. And it was just out of necessity that I was like, I need someone with my same schedule who can be on camera. Well, that happens to be me. So I'll go do that. I had like hardly ever been on camera as an adult, at least. You know, like as a kid, I didn't care about making
like movies, one of my favorite things has been watching you.
Oh my gosh. You know
go through the personal growth.
I have a video. This must have been like a year or two before I started my channel. I was applying to be an Apple Distinguished Educator. And you have to submit like a video about what you do. And it was really like the first time I had to make like an about like, this is me and what I do video. And it is...
Oh, we have to watch it.
It is so... I mean, I haven't watched it in like a couple of years, but it's
What?
bad.
What do you mean
It's
bad?
so cringy.
Oh, come now. It can't be bad.
It's on the server. I mean, we could pull it up right now if you wanted to, but well, actually, I don't know, because it's a lot of like very identifying info about schools and students. But it was a weird thing where I remember like having to mic myself up for the first time and like set up an interview thing, especially with like manual focus only cameras, and like try to like record a thing and have someone try to like help hold a camera to get a shot. And like,
I guess that's the other thing, because like when I used to go to your classroom a lot when you were teaching, and I would see it in the kids that I would see them get excited about the thing that they made, and it made them want to make something else. And it's that I saw that whole thing with you of like, not only like, okay, gear and tech and all that, but also what you're saying and how you're saying it. Even the whole thing about whether to change your channel name from The Enthusiasm Project to Tom Buck, like that was a whole thing, or whether you should put jokes in your videos or not, or just it's like, I don't know, it's been so cool to see.
Yeah, it was fun teaching too, when students would show their work and somebody would do something really good or really cool, and you could see that like click, because I can do lessons about like, here's depth of field and framing or whatever, and I like, here's demos and all this stuff, but once they saw somebody else in their class make a thing that looked like a movie, or looked and sounded just like something was really special about it, that's where I could see then the next time we would do like a project critique day, you would sort of see like multiple other people kind of trying
would
like level
step
up
up
a
the
bit
whole
and
group.
and that was really
That's
cool to see someone, because that's the thing, like they could see me doing it, even though I'm literally explaining it, or even having them come up in front of the class and like do it. It's very different when it's literally someone else, like a peer, not a peer as in person, not a peer as in show up. But it's when it's one of their peers doing something, then I think it makes it a lot more accessible, which is why it's like, I don't know, it also ties into like why representation is really important in media and on social media platforms and things. And, why I get kind of like fired up about that stuff.
Texture Maker says that he's going to color his hair blue.
Blue
I
beard would be
I
cool.
tried to get Tom to do that. He got so scared.
I mean, I tried, just nothing showed up. I have more gray hair now. Maybe it would show up more easily.
Yeah. 90s pop star style. That's what I see in my head for YouTuber. Aiden is why MCJ creates. That's great. Art. I create because I love that I found a way to stay involved with combat sports. And my older sister told me, apparently I have always loved cameras.
It's perfect. Just like, it's fun when you realize those things mesh.
I didn't realize it either, that I was super into camera. I didn't realize it was a thing that you could be into, because I was so focused on the thing that I was recording.
Yours is almost like a means to an end. Like,
yeah. Like I didn't realize. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about the camera. I was thinking about like.
Yeah, that's kind of a difference in our approach, because you're like,
Yeah,
I need to film this thing. You're like,
yeah.
okay, I need a camera. Like, how do I get good sound? Like, whereas me, I'm like, this
Let me
camera
get this
will get this and
angle.
this.
Yeah,
because I have
no.
this, then I could do this.
No. Yeah.
It's almost like
That's so funny.
flipped.
Yeah. I wish I had my old movies.
Yeah, me too.
Mark is saying, what are your thoughts on Gen AI using your content for training? I have no idea what that means.
Like how AI, to learn what it learns, it, uses existing stuff to train itself.
Oh.
So how would you feel about your videos being used to train AI on? Like...
Oh, I see. So our content being a source.
A source of it. If someone were to type in like YouTube coach thumbnail or something, and somehow it goes through all your stuff and makes a thumbnail that looks kind of similar to yours.
Oh, we should try to do that.
But I mean, like, how would you feel about your stuff being used to train?
Honestly, I'm not sure, because I feel like it's one of those things where it's kind of like, oh, how would you feel if someone took one of your videos and used it to sell their course and uploaded it on your channel? I don't know how I would feel until it happened.
Yeah.
And then I felt very violated and I felt horrible. It felt not good. So I can say what I think I'll feel like, but I really don't know. Yeah. How would you feel?
I think it probably depends on the context. If it's something like, I can make a video that explains how to, I don't know, how to set up a microphone. And then someone takes the info from that video and learns how to set up their microphone and get better sound. And now they have sound quality like me in their videos. I think that's great. Like, that's the whole point of the video. If it's someone takes my video and puts it on their channel, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
And so
but that's not like AI training. That's like
no, I know, but I mean like those examples there. So the AI training, if the AI is looking at like the stuff I'm making as an example of something in the world versus just taking what I make and like mushing it into something else for somebody else, I think those are two kind of different things. One I am okay with and one I'd feel a little weird about. But in both cases, I don't think there's anything I could do about any of it. So I don't know.
Right. Today my hair looks like Syndrome on the Incredibles.
That's cool.
Yeah, haircut tomorrow. Jula says, I create because it's fun to share my perspective. I really enjoy taking pics, using video cameras, and recreating that moment in the editing process. It's fun to tell my own story. I love that.
I love that. I was just thinking the other day, I was like, aren't pictures crazy? I know we take them for granted, but like you can just
Well, let me tell you about this thing called video.
I'm not even going that far. I'm just picture. Like you can just a moment you capture it, just it's like you could see people and places, and that's absolutely crazy.
Oh my god, you know what we should do?
Huh.
Here's what we should do on the couples table one day. We should do like a photo project. Like, and we should be like, okay, the prompt is like create or something, and then everyone has to show a picture that is that.
That's fun.
And then we'll get like 20 people to like show pictures, and we just go through all of them. How fun would that be?
That'd be a fun one.
We don't have to do that.
That would be very
cool though. I'd love to see what everyone comes up with for this day. It's like
that'd be really. I mean, that's and it's simple. It's not like a thing that would take forever.
Use your phone.
Tom's channel could be the basis for thousands of new videos. Oh Lord.
Okay, you know what we should do? Sorry, I don't know why I have all these ideas right now. We should get an AI, and you guys should do a pun battle. You have to outsmart the AI.
I have not found AI to be very good at puns.
Really?
And I've tried like even asking it to like add wordplay into things. And
your brain has been trained by this since you were born. So, let's see. In the pews, how do you deal with having to go on hiatus? We're forced to because a lot of our audience gives up YouTube social media for Lent. Oh,
that is interesting.
That's interesting. Well, I've gone on many a hiatus, and I think both of us would see this the same way. But like, I wouldn't say anything in terms of your channel, because the reason why I wouldn't say anything is because, well, I think in your case it's different because you're
doing it together with the audience.
Yeah. So that maybe that's different. But like for my hiatus, I always think that as a viewer, you might want, or as a creator, you might want to tell your existing viewers, but I always think that a lot of your viewers haven't found you yet. So for you to like make an announcement about how you're going in a hiatus and then say someone finds you 2 days into the hiatus, it's kind of like, oh, that sucks. Whereas if you didn't even say anything and you come back, they wouldn't even have to know that you had to leave for some reason or whatever.
Especially if you have a decent like sized catalog of videos and stuff.
So yeah, I don't know. How would you handle hiatus?
I think that's the same thing. I'm unless it's for a specific reason or something. Unless it makes sense to mention it, I wouldn't even mention it. But yeah, in your case, it's kind of cool because you're doing it with the audience or with a lot of the audience. So it's almost like I don't know, it's kind of a cool audience building thing. Like we're doing it together.
Yeah, that's true.
It's different than most other situations.
We refrain from releasing new material for a couple of weeks before Easter, but we know it's hurting our analytics.
And it is hurting analytics. And hey, I mean, in the context of like your niche and your topic, like that you're talking about making a sacrifice for something you believe in and care about, and that's an example of you're giving up something that's important to you. It could have a negative effect in these ways, but that's a sacrifice you're willing to make for the thing. So it could be, this is how we're also doing this with you, along with you.
Oh, I like that. Well, look at you.
I can say smart things sometimes.
Coach Constance, hey Heather and Tom, happy spring. Anything new on your mighty community? Any plans for it? Tom and I do the pre-show. The couples do a pre-show over there. That's fun.
Sometimes nobody's there, but that's
I
okay.
know.
Then it's just an AV check.
Yeah, we do our sound check over there. But yeah, other than that, I don't think there's any plans. Right?
I mean, we talked about like, relaunching, but you reorganized and restructured it. It just wasn't like, there was no like ribbon cutting or anything.
Maybe we could do a ribbon cutting. I wouldn't mind. I was thinking about trying to build a thing for the YouTube huddle up to go
That
there.
makes sense.
But I kind of like, I don't know. We'll see. I haven't thought of it yet, but we'll see. It's there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's kinda
Jewel
cool.
says, "Oh, that would be fun."
Photo challenge.
Gil says it would be fun. I feel like we should do this.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
What's going on next week? You want to do the photo challenge?
I don't think there's anything else, right?
I feel like this would be fun. I don't know how to get everyone's photos though.
We'd have to. I don't know. See, this is where if there was, or they could put them in the Mighty.
Oh, that's true.
That's Good Friday, so I don't know if there might be people who aren't around because it's not a holiday. But
Yeah. Hey, Sammy.
what's up, Sammy?
Well, we'll figure it out,
That
and then
sounds cool.
Yeah, maybe we'll do it next week.
We do have that email list, stay updated with stuff, so it's in the description if you want to sign up for Couples Table updates. That's all that it is. It's not a spam list.
Not a spam list. Is there a regular weekly time for this couples table? Yes, every Friday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are here.
Yeah, unless one of us is out of town or something.
Yes, which was the case last week, but otherwise,
Yeah, we've been quite consistent with
every
Friday
Friday,
at
1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I can't talk right now.
It's a fun thing to look forward to.
Yeah. Okay. Can we talk about one last thing?
Sure.
Do you guys know about Handel's ice cream?
Is that where you want to? Are you hinting at me?
I
right
hella
now?
want Handel's. I'm not gonna lie. I'm supposed to go to a body combat class tonight, but I want to just
Why not both?
because
You get handles now, let it digest for a few hours, and you go burn it off.
Henrique Couto. Half the fun of tuning in is seeing what Mike Tom is
I know
on
no
this
one
week.
says anything anymore. Sometimes I do really weird things with my mic, and everyone's just like, "Yeah, whatevs."
Well, hi Henrique Couto. I've never seen you before. It's good to see you here.
Yeah. Thank you for noticing. I haven't used the RE20 in
Okay,
forever.
whenever I'll tell you this right now. Tom he thinks about the microphone he's going to use. I don't because I just
you
use
have
the
you
same
have
one.
your mic for years.
It's gorgeous.
It
Yes,
sounds
look how
good and
beautiful
works
it is.
good.
But Tom puts a lot of thought into
Every week,
which one I'm going
I
to
think
use
about it
today.
days in advance.
Yes.
It's not even that. Like I set it
So
up on
if
like
you wanna
Monday.
be excited and share your excitement about the mic in the comments. Look at how happy he is. Look,
Yeah.
you see this?
You know what I was going to do today, but I thought it would be maybe too annoying. Is I was going to use my handheld NAB mic wirelessly, so I could be like,
Oh, you
I'm
should.
just over here. But then I was like, if this is annoying to listen to in a podcast format, but I was like, that'd be kind of fun. I don't have to like do this. Then I was worried about going out of focus because
Why
I just
don't you
ended up leaning back and talking.
Rick on Mike says if you don't burn off the ice cream, you'll have love handles.
Oh.
Boo, 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 boo. Also, the RE20 is amazing.
It's definitely a mic that I'm liking it more now, but I wanted to use this because of Audio Hotline last week. Like I said, he was using it, talking about it, sounding really good on it. Yesterday we were at the gym. The gym always has sports shows, and so many sports shows where it's like people just hanging out at desks, like talking about sports. They all have RE20s just pointed at them. Sometimes it's weird.
Really?
One guy had one like this, and I was like, buddy, I don't think that's the position for that microphone.
Why?
Well, because it's a,
Oh, a forward facing.
Um,
You always talk on the side sometimes, though.
His was like, it was literally like behind him.
Oh.
Like, it was way too, I don't know. I'm sure someone who was running the audio for that show was like cranking out their like gain on that channel. But I was like, okay, I need to like,
What do you need to do?
it's a microphone that has such a rabid fan base, and I know it's a good microphone and I appreciate it, but it has not clicked with me. And so I was like almost wanting to use it to decide if like, should I get rid of it or should I keep it? I like having it because honestly, the only reason I keep it at this point is because it pops up in videos where people are like, how does this new microphone compare to the RE20? And I have one on hand to compare to on handles.
I had to write the photo challenge so I don't forget.
That's a good idea.
Have you ever thought of using a shotgun mic that would be cool with the MKH50?
Actually, that was another thing I was going to use today was the Audio-Technica AT897 because I have produced podcasts with that mic. My first podcast ever, which I wasn't a part of, but I was producing, were all done with shotgun microphones, and they sound shockingly good in less than well-treated environments because they're very good at like isolating the sound and stuff.
Gil says, Heather, what's the lighting setup like in your studio? And you just give me an idea for the next episode. Let's go over it next week.
Yeah.
You can turn everything off and then turn it all on.
You've got yours dialed in so well, and I'm in the process of potentially kind of tearing up part of my studio maybe and moving some things around, but I can't quite figure it out.
He always has an itch to do that.
I do, but this would be the biggest. This would be me changing a lot. I told you about it.
Oh. What's his face? Okay, last question. Does NAB devolve into everybody trying to interview each other or envy everyone else's cool gear?
We were kind of talking about this morning, actually. It can devolve into just like...
What is devolve?
Like degenerate into...
Oh, the opposite of evolve?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like the band Devo.
Look, the other thing I wrote was word of the day because you keep saying a lot of words and I'm like, oh, I should
I do say a lot of words.
But why are we getting all like laggy all of a sudden? Oh, okay, that's time to go.
I guess so. Maybe some cables getting
well, we've never been to NAB, so I don't know if it'll...
Yeah, I only know what I've seen.
I don't do gear, so like I don't know. I'm not gonna talk about that.
Yeah, I don't. That's what. I don't know. And Max Day's moving in July, so new room, new shapes, of course, totally new setup. Oh boy, exciting. You get everything dialed in. We're totally frozen now, and then you have to. This happened before a while ago.
Well, that means it's time to clear.
The table. All right, enjoy this freeze frame of us in a very unpleasant pose.
Okay, we'll catch you guys next week.
Despite that, we appreciate you being here. Hope you have a safe, happy, healthy, fun rest of your week, and we will see you next time.
Wait, hold
That's
on.
The screen share. Still with the weird
Why
thing.
is this?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll catch you guys next time.
I'm wondering when you go to the outro if it'll fix.
Let me change the camera. Boom. Oh my god, we're just stuck in.
Can you go to the outro?
Okay, bye everybody.